Welcome to the Monetize Your Payments podcast, where we cover the entire payment facilitator ecosystem. If you are a SaaS company, ISV, or a marketplace interested in monetizing your payments, this podcast is for you. You will learn what it takes to monetize your payments, as well as find the vendors, suppliers, and organizations that will help you succeed. You are going to hear success stories, lessons learned, and advice from all sides and all angles across the payment facilitator ecosystem.
For a typical software company, payments from outside may look simple and they jump in. But as you peel the layers of the onion, you will realize it's complex. But you can do your homework and prepare for it and get it right. As an integrated payments provider, you own everything. So you need to work on building the right policies, processes, organizational units, tools, products, partnerships. Everything is needed to be successful, and it takes time and money and effort.
This is episode 8 of the Monetize Your Payments podcast, and that was Biju Nair, the GM and VP of Payments at Boulevard. I'm your host, Greg Myers, and Biju is our special guest this week. He grew up and did his undergrad work in India and got his MBA at Babson College in the Boston area and currently lives in Lexington, Massachusetts. He spent the last 15 years in payments. Boulevard, founded in 2016, is a business management platform that makes work easier for salons and spas. The company was founded on the principle that doing business in the beauty industry should be convenient for everyone. The average salon operates on a 5% profit margin, but the Boulevard platform could double that margin in 90 days. Their early customers asked for payments, so it really was about the customer experience that drove the need to integrate payments into their software. They used some payfac-in-a-box solutions initially and are now on the path to becoming a payfac themselves. Becoming a payfac will allow them to control their own destiny and offer other fintech solutions to their customers. Biju provides some great advice around being educated about payments before making strategic decisions. We've got a great conversation with Biju today, so let's jump right in. Hi, Biju. Thank you for being here, and welcome to the Monetize Your Payments podcast.
Hey, thank you, Greg. Good morning. Thanks for having me on this program. It's a pleasure.
Well, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, maybe where you grew up, where you went to school, where you currently live, a few things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in India, did my schooling and undergrad studies there, and then joined a global consulting company based here in Massachusetts called Cambridge Technology Partners, or CTP. And I had the opportunity to consult for a few companies around the globe and then finally settle here in the Boston area. Also did my MBA at Babson College here in Mass and currently live in the historic town of Lexington. Throughout my career, I have performed various roles such as software engineering, systems consulting, product management, business operations, and general business management, and have spent almost 15 years in payments industry in various leadership roles.
And so today, you're the GM and VP of Payments at Boulevard. So maybe talk a little bit about your roles and responsibilities there.
Yeah, as a GM and VP of Boulevard's payments business, I am pretty much responsible for our payments line of business and its P&L. This translates to either direct or indirect ownership of everything from payment strategy, payments operations, payments products, hardware, and fintech ecosystem partner management. So essentially, I'm responsible to make sure that we have a healthy fintech line of business running for the company.
Let's talk about the company. Tell us what Boulevard does.
Boulevard is the business management platform that makes work and success pretty simple for salons and spas. The company was founded with the fundamental belief that personal care should be convenient for everyone, and our mission is to maximize the potential for beauty service brands as well as their clients. Our platform is developed with and trusted by industry-leading owners and operators, and our scheduling, point of sale, and conversation platform is carefully designed to drive revenue, automate workflows, and convert customers from visitors to valuable long-term clients. We enable these businesses to provide a better personalized experience across every transaction and interaction, It not only helps salons and spas to survive, but it helps them to thrive. I don't know if you know this, but the average salon operates with less than 5% profit margin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a sad part, So, but our platform can help double that in as quickly as 90 days. Our clients see top line improvements with increased service bookings, more retail product sales, and increased activity. And we also boost the bottom line, So bottom line gets the boost by significantly reducing the no-shows, late cancellations, reducing front desk hours and phone calls. All of them add. And our company was founded in 2016 and headquartered in LA. Our platform is currently supporting over 500 business locations, including some of the marquee brands such as Chris McMillan, The Salon, Mesh Salon, Sev Laser, Spoke and Wheel, Tony and Guy, and many more. So these are the marquee brands, as I said, in the LA and New York area. We are around 100 employees strong today as a company.
Is the focus more the larger spas and salons, or is it like the mom and pop one location, or is it both?
Both, actually. We started out in the premium salons and spas. So you have like one, two, or multiple. We have like multiple 30, 40 location businesses also operating on our platform. It's a mix, to answer your question.
And how do you go about getting new customers? Is it mostly digital? Is it a sales team? Is it partnerships? How do you go to market?
Yeah, we go to market as a combination, right? So we use digital, of course. Demand generation comes through this. And we have an in-house sales team, direct sales, right? We sell directly to the customer. And this is like BDRs, the business dev reps calling up, making cold calls, or following through leads, or referrals. So to answer your question, pretty much most of the sales is direct sales.
Okay. And then assuming that this is mostly retail type of environments, how has the COVID era affected your business?
It's a great question. Like every other business, we've been impacted too, and especially in the payments side, right? Because if I look at our business as two sides, there's the SaaS piece and then the payments piece. The payments piece, yes, with all the closures, especially in the markets that we are predominantly in, we're impacted heavily, and payments volume were impacted, but they are coming back up. We are back to the pre-COVID volume in terms of payments, which is a great sign. And the main reason why that happened is because we've been selling pretty well. During that time, the salons and the spas and the owners got some time in their hand, and they were reflecting on the business, looking at the business operations, and they could make some business decisions, and that's where we could show the value of our platform. And the sales team did a terrific job, so we signed up a lot more business, and we have had better quarter by quarter, so Q2 was better than Q1 and Q3 better than Q2. So sales is doing well. And as I said, the payments volume is back up, even though per store, it probably is not back up to that pre-COVID era. But overall, for our volume, the transaction total purchase volume is on the rise.
That's great. Well, let's now dive into the payments. That's really what this podcast is about, is how does a software company monetize payments and what does that look like? So let's dive into that a little bit. Let's sort of set the stage, maybe talk about how payments is actually used. What is that customer interaction with? And talk about that. That'll kind of level set it, I think, for everyone on how you guys actually help your customers with payments.
Yeah, we simplify the overall payments experience for our customers and their clients. Starting from the sales engagement to customer service and support, we simplify the process and provide one Boulevard experience to our customers. So compare this to the legacy experience or the experience that they may get from a standalone merchant processing provider or merchant services provider. We are the one-stop shop that our customers need to interface and interact with for all their payments needs. We sell, service, and support everything related to their payment processing needs. It's Boulevard processing. It's a branded our processing. Whether it's giving them a really good processing rate, or simplifying the settlement, reporting, reconciliation experience, or helping them with the chargeback management, the post-sale incidents. We got them all covered, so through the same platform. And payments is natively integrated with our platform. and customers get one superior Boulevard experience. And we are always working to innovate and bring new payments features and functions to the platform, and all our customers benefit from those innovations.
I guess some of the scenarios are someone walks into the retail location and they pay at the point of sale.
Correct.
Do they pay in advance? Like, do they pay over the internet, or are there other ways that they may pay?
Yeah. So the one scenario you touched, that is like somebody, a guest walking into the store, and they can get a haircut or a massage or whatever they are for, right? I mean, and then walk out, they can make the payment. At that time also, they can keep that credentials on file for future, right? I mean, they like it, yeah, they want to come back. So that's one experience. Then the other use case is, yeah, you find the salon, you make the booking online, you can make your own appointments online, and you put your card on file there. And when you come to the salon, you can have that Uber-like experience, right? I mean, you just get your haircut and say like, hey, charge that card on file, and you walk out. So there is every touch point in that process of that customer engagement. We simplify that payments experience.
Okay, great. Makes a lot of sense. How important would you say payments is to your overall business?
It is a key part of our business and a major revenue driver. But one thing I want to differentiate is, unlike traditional payment processors, we reinvest the payments money back into our software platform and fuel innovations and improvements on our platform, benefiting all our customers. In a way, it helps to subsidize the SaaS fees. Also, it is the building block for our future fintech opportunities, such as merchant cash advance that we might get into some point in time. But that is fundamentally important for the payments, is important for us and for our platform. So I would say it's a win-win for us and our customers.
And so that brings up an important question. I think it's one that a lot of software companies kind of get to this point and they have to figure out, if we want to integrate payments into our platform, how do we go to market? How do we price this to our customers? So could you talk a little bit about sort of how you guys price it and what the strategy is behind that?
Absolutely. So we go to market with our software, right? I mean, software is what the customers are purchasing. But at the same time, we are also the processor. There is no choice of a processing, right? I mean, the processing is embedded because, as I said, that full experience customer needs to get, they need to buy our processing too. And they have flexibility there. We provide multiple pricing options. For example, if it is simplifying their operation, we could provide them a bundle fixed price, similar to like what a Square or Stripe might give, but much cheaper rate. Or it could be a company or a merchant who is used to an interchange plus pricing, and we would offer that. And a lot of times we match or beat their existing rate. So we cover that. I mean, we go to market, answering your question directly, yeah, we go to market with our software, but payments is part of that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to maybe when the platform was built. Was the platform built with payments in it, or was payments integrated later?
That's a great question. So like most others, we fell into payments. We would say it is an happy accident. It began with our early customers, trusting us. They're asking us, hey, why don't you take the credit card from our clients when they make appointments, right? And that is to guarantee the booking. And then they said, oh, yeah, you're taking already the credit cards. Why don't you process those payments for us? And we evolved, so we evolved and here we are. We started our payments journey itself by using a couple of payfac-in-a-box solution. And currently we are in the process of becoming our own payfac. That gives us the full freedom, flexibility, and ability to scale. We are also busy working to bring a branded payments hardware that is beautiful and speaks our brand. As I said, brand is very critical for us. And that experience of whether it's the hardware or software, that experience is pretty important. And we have a busy and ambitious fintech roadmap ahead of us. So we are definitely in the payments business. And of course, software comes first. Without that, there is no payments.
You mentioned something there. I don't know how much you're willing to talk about it, but I would love to understand better why the decision was made to become your own payfac. And then the second part of that is, what has that journey been like, and sort of where are you in that process? Can we dig into that a little bit?
I will go a little bit, So the main reason is, of course, anybody, right? I mean, a software company, you're trying to big into payfac or into payments. In the last 4 years, 5 years, we have seen like many of these payfacs-in-a-box solutions. That's absolutely is great for somebody to start. And some folks, like, even at scale, that probably is the best solution. But we looked at our payments overall strategy and where the company wants to be in next several years. And we thought, like, with our volume and scale and scope, it's best to become our own payfac because it gives us all the operational control that we need. And it's not everyone's cup of tea, right? I mean, we did our homework and we made a very conscious decision to get into that one. And we are building the necessary organizational unit, processes, tools, and of course the software to make it happen.
And with that, whether you're a payfac or not, if you are taking payments, there's obviously a lot of challenges from several perspectives, which, include legal agreements that you have to have with your merchants and, all the risks that come with being a payments company, whether you're just taking payments or becoming a payfac and PCI and all those things. So maybe talk about some of those and your viewpoint on some of those and how you look at them and how, you've developed your strategies around those things. And obviously it sounds like you're kind of making a little bit of a switch, but all those things I think are relevant no matter what. So maybe talk a little bit about the legal side of things and the risk side of things and the fraud and security side of things, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. And a lot of times the mistake that some of the software companies make is not doing their homework, right? I mean, all of them are super important and big items, So for a typical software company, payments from outside may look simple and they jump in. But as you peel the layers of the onion, you will realize it's complex. But you can do your homework and prepare for it and get it right. As an integrated payments provider, you own everything. So you need to work on building the right policies, processes, organizational units, tools, products, partnerships. Everything is needed to be successful. And it takes time and money and effort. And don't be reactive, but be proactive and plan everything out, right? I mean, first, build the right underwriting and risk policies based on the type of business and markets that you plan to operate in, So all these things are variable based on your business, So then take those policies and practices and practice by building the right organizational units, procedures, tools. And a lot of times, you can leverage third-party partnerships, right? I mean, whether it's about doing AML or KYC checks on your customers, because you need to get it right, because to protect your own business and also to fulfill your obligations to your acquirer, you need to get it right. I mean, so you could be smart, so you could build some internal and external or a combination of tools and get it right. And you have to train your staff and make sure they are all aware of your policy and procedures. And to some extent, you have to train your customers too. And this is where interesting side is when you go to transaction monitoring, because you have to safeguard against merchant risk, that is safeguarding your own business, and you have to safeguard your merchant against fraudulent consumer risk, right? I mean, so that is the clients might be making fraudulent transfers. You have to protect them too. So internal and external combination tools can help there, and the right policies, procedures, and organizational units. Then in terms of security, of course, we are a PCI level 1 compliant organization, and we have the appropriate policies and procedures there. And we take security very seriously and we make sure everyone in our organization is adequately trained and controlling access rights and educating our customers again here, right? I mean, because you having a PCI doesn't mean PCI level 1 doesn't mean the customer is or your merchant is automatically compliant. They have to be. So you have to educate, train them. And average SMB may not understand any of these things. Now, being that service provider, you have the obligation to train them, to make them understand and fulfill them on their obligations. And you have to have the right kind of legal structures in place. So yeah, there is a lot of things that you need to do to be successful, and it requires careful planning and thoughtful processes.
So I think a lot of software companies kind of get to this inflection point and they're being, I won't say being pushed by their investors, but sometimes that happens. And I think a lot of it is driven by they want to provide the best customer experience and they know payments is a part of it, but they have absolutely no payments experience. What would your sort of advice be to them? Like, what would you say they should do as a first step if they're in that scenario where I guess it kind of happened with you guys as your customer said, hey, you're doing this now. Can we take it a step further and really integrate it? And that's what you guys did. But a lot of companies have that happening to them and their owners, their operators don't have that payment experience. What would you tell them to do?
Yeah, this is going back to that homework, right? Don't just jump in just seeing a spreadsheet alone. I mean, you might see, oh yeah, there is certain basis points to capture here, but don't just do that. Go through every pieces of things that you need to do to get to that point. Talk to people, talk to experts. And if you are new and you don't have the right kind of people, you should always get somebody who understands this business. But let's say like you don't have somebody who understands a little bit of the business, then maybe you want to try out, is payments right for you? Is your customer or are your customers willing to do payments processing through you? So that means that you have to experiment it, right? I mean, so that is where exactly like some of these new payfac-in-a-box kind of vendors will help, because some of them will completely outsource, even like, or you can outsource the risk and underwriting to them. You don't really need, but along the way, as you sell the solution, as you integrate with these solutions, you can learn. I mean, you can learn, hey, is this the right kind of business? Do I have the expertise or can I build the expertise? Do I understand the procedures and policies or can I build? And can I find the right partnership when I go? And will I scale as a company? Do I have enough scale to make the economics meet too, right? Because that means you are taking additional expenses on your book, whether you are building your own risk and underwriting or more technology work, anything else that comes along with that, right? I mean, so do all that homework, understand what exactly that means and what kind of expertise you need to build. And will it be a distraction or a helpful ally to your software, right? I mean, so you need to understand that entire spectrum and then decide. And I would also look at the other side, right? If you don't have integrated payments experience, you might see like, the customers are leaving your software. It may not be for your software. It could be just because they are getting that experience from the payments provider. So you have to look at that too. So take that full 360 view and then decide what exactly you want to do for your company to thrive and be successful.
That's some great advice. What would you say has been or is currently the most painful part of the payments journey so far?
Yeah, that is again a great question. So I would say one is like finding the right technology partners. You don't always get the most modern technology and features and coverage and rates and everything that you need from one place in payment. That's a sad part. So of course, there are emerging players trying to solve for this and legacy players trying to modernize and catch up and evolve. But irrespective of whom you consider, there is always some feature or coverage gap, right? I mean, or in some cases, they charge premiums, right? I mean, beyond the value that they bring in. So solving for all of it and finding the right partner that works the best for your business today and for the short and medium term ahead of you, right? I mean, so you might be in a market or you might be in a business today, or you might be operating on certain channels today, but tomorrow your software business might have plans beyond that, right? So see like what that partnership will take you, right? I mean, you got to find a partner that is going to scale for all that needs, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, right? I mean, because you can't be integrating with multiple players all the time because that's expenses and your platform gets cluttered too. So you have to carefully plan that. One other point to add there is if you're just e-com alone, probably I would say it is relatively easier to find a partner or to work with somebody that make your dreams possible. But if you're omni-channel provider operating in multiple markets with specific device strategy and channel strategy, then it gets tougher. But you have to work and find the right partner. And that was like one of our hard pieces, finding that right partner.
Did you guys do an RFP process to help with that?
Yes, we did. We did. And that was my other piece of advice to anybody will be go with an RFP. I mean, RFP helps you in two ways, right? One is it helps you to crystallize your own thought process. I mean, what all do you want and helps you to plan your business and then vet your vendor. Because, I mean, few short sales calls, you can just get boxed into one solution or the other. Don't do that. So go through the RFP, compare apples to apples, and then make the decision.
Yeah, I like that answer a lot. We've covered a lot of ground on this call so far. Any final thoughts or anything else you wanted to share about integrating payments or monetizing payments, or even anything about Boulevard that you'd like to share?
I believe we covered pretty much everything, but I just want to re-emphasize that point about homework. It is complex. Payments is complex, but you can get it right if you do your homework. Build your business strategy, assemble the right team, find the right partners, and that's it. You can go get it.
One thing we didn't talk about that if you're in this space, you hear it a lot is the time to market. So some will say you can do it in weeks. Some say you can do it in months. Some say it takes a year. Any thought on what's realistic so that the audience sort of knows from someone that's been there and done that is what does it really take from a time perspective to integrate payments?
Yeah, the answer is the classic, it depends.
Right.
I would say if you're an e-commerce provider not operating in multiple countries or markets, it could be weeks, right? You could be operational. Going with some of those, the payfac-in-a-box solutions, it can be operational in weeks. If your business is more complicated and complex, then it is months rather than weeks. And then that is if you're beginning to go with somebody, but if you want to do all by yourself, it is a lot of months, right? So because you have to do everything, that is, you have to do internal team building or organizational building, then you have to do policy crafting, procedures, executing them, finding partners, doing engineering work, product work, and finding not one partner. You might be finding multiple partners to do a bunch of things, and then boxing it all into a seamless customer experience. So there is a lot of work. That is multiple months.
Okay. Biju, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate your time and everything you've shared today. What would be the best way for people to learn more about Boulevard?
Yeah, Boulevard, go to our website. That is www.joinboulevard. That is joinblvd.co or .com. So you can go to our website and you can see and learn more about the company. And we also have very strong social media presence. You can search on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You will find us all there. And of course, on LinkedIn too. We would love to talk more and see what interests you guys and do business.
Great. And how would people get in touch with you?
The best will be through LinkedIn. Send me a message. I'm on LinkedIn. You can send me a message. I think that'll be the best. Or you can email me at bnair, that is BNAIR @blvd.co.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I think this was very insightful, and it's great to hear from someone who's sort of been there and done that, and then to learn that you're also going down the PayFac route is fascinating. So I really appreciate you sharing everything you did today.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Thanks for the opportunity, and it was a pleasure talking with you.
Take care and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Monetize Your Payments podcast. Make sure you visit our website at monetizeyourpayments.com, where you can subscribe to the show and where you will find our show notes. If you would like to be on the show or have a suggestion for a guest, please email greg@monetizeyourpayments.com.